What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today we're going to be testing and reviewing Milwaukee's fastback utility flip knife. Now this one here isn't your standard utility knife. It's got the added feature of being able to flip open with one hand. I haven't come across a single blade or manufacturer that actually advertises that you're able to open it up with one hand. Very, very important feature that I always look for when buying a utility knife. The reason why I look for that, you might be up on a ladder, only have one hand free, the other one's occupied holding a drill, and you want to flick that knife out with one hand nice and easy. So far, in the past, it's been trial and error. You have to buy it, test it, throw it out, buy it, test it, throw it out. This one here is the best one that I've come across with so far. So we've got here Irwin's utility knife. I'm able usually in about 1 or 2 flicks to be able to get this one here to retract. So we can get that one there out nice and easy. 4 main things that I look for when buying a utility knife. Number 1, its ability to flick out. Number 2, we want to make sure that the blade stays in its fixed position. So many manufacturers out there that I've come across, the blade detaches when you're cutting through harder material. So I know they're not designed for cutting through timber. However, what I like to do sometimes when I'm doing door hinges or any kind of little fiddly work, rather than getting a chisel, I'll use a utility knife and I'll cut or score through that timber. What happens with some of the brands, the blade will detach from the body and then I'm left with the blade stuck in the timber or stuck in any other surface. Very, very dangerous. I need to make sure that this one here is always fixed in position. Number 3, ergonomics. Since this is a utility knife and it's got a blade on the end of it, we want to make sure we've got a good grip on it. So this one here's got an indentation for my finger to sit in. Very nice and comfortable, and you'll get a good grip on that. Number 4 is its ability to stay fixed in the open position. So when we lock that out in the open position, we want to make sure that it doesn't retract while we're actually cutting material. That way, if you do happen to go on a bit of an angle, you don't have the risk of the blade coming back against your hand. So let's test this one here out, open it up and see just how well it handles, especially because it's advertised as a flip function. Let's do this. So let's open this one here up. We'll use a knife to open up a new knife. Alrighty, so let's have a look. This one here is a plastic body. We've got steel on the inside and then it's got a plastic body on the outside. This one here is a solid steel one. I like the feel of the solid steel one. It does have a bit of grip on there. I don't know, to be honest yet. We'll have to test it out and see just how well this plastic becomes durable. So this metal one here is obviously nice and durable. Let's have a look at this. We've got a steel body up on top. I think it came with a blade as well. We've got a blade in there as well. Let's open this one here up without cutting myself. So it came with one spare blade. Now there is another option that you can get on these blades. You can get the one that has extra blades that can be seated inside, and I think that one there is a metal body. So the plastic isn't too bad so far. Let's test out the flick option. That's probably the one I'm after. This one here is the flip option, not the flick. I take that back. They do have a flick option in some countries. In Australia, unfortunately, we don't have it. That is only for the knife, not for the utility blade. So by flick, I mean it's spring loaded and you're able to just touch that a little bit with your finger and it completely flicks open. I had a look to see if I could get my hands on that. I think that's illegal in Australia and Canada and a few other countries as well. So let's test it out. Not a bad little button. I don't know. Oh, that's nice. It flicks very, very easy coming in. Let's try it coming out. Actually, I'll take my finger off it. So without pressing the button, that's not going anywhere. Let's press the button. Didn't lock that time. Maybe it needs that weight from the button, or it takes a bit of practice. So it's not too bad so far. That button, you do have to press it. Oh no, it's pretty good. All right, let's get this blade in and see how well this one here works. So we've got a little button on top to be able to put those blades in and out. The blade or the button is on the other side. I'm used to having it on my thumb, to be honest, but see if we have to get used to that. So the blade's in there nice and tight so far. We'll do a couple of cutting demonstrations and see if this one here stays in its fixed position. It actually works pretty good. I think I might spend like 5 minutes just flicking this one here in and out. If I press it, flick it out, ready in that lock position. There's very, very little play up on top. So let's flick this one here open. Not much play at all. Once again, not much play, very, very sturdy. Once again, I can get my finger in that little groove that they've created down the bottom. So I've got a good grip on that. Thumb goes up over on the top and it's very, very comfortable. There's a couple little notches that they've cut out here. So that way we can get our thumb on there, nice and comfortable. So before we test it out, I'm just going to replace a blade on this one here, put a brand new blade on this one as well. Something that so many people still till now don't realize. So I'll give you guys a handy tip in case you guys didn't realize. If your blade does become dull and it's time to change it, you don't necessarily have to change it straight away. You've got the option of flipping the blade around. I know it sounds so simple and straightforward, but there's so many people that still don't realize this till now. So with this one here, we've got an added feature that you have to keep it on a 45-degree angle in order to replace that blade. You can see there that I've got both blades used on this one here. So generally, you can just flip it around and use the other side. But in this case here, I've already used up both sides. So we'll just replace the blade on this one here. And that one there is ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some cuts straight across this timber all the way across. Now this one here, I'm not expecting to cut all the way through it, but I want to try and put some shave that edge off, and we'll see just how well this one here handles. So let's start off with the Irwin, my old trusty Irwin, which I know works very, very well. So we'll put some straight cuts all the way across, and we want to make sure, number one, that blade doesn't come out. So we've got a nice clean cut all the way through. That blade is nice and fixed. No rocking in the actual positioning. You can see there it's sitting nice and tight. There's no rocking in that the section up on top where it locks into. So let's try it out on the new Milwaukee. Also, the Milwaukee one has a nice little belt clip on top with a lot of spring on it, which is very, very important. Anytime you lock that in your pants or into your pocket or even into your bag, you want to make sure that doesn't move anywhere. So let's try it out with the Milwaukee. Once again, perfect. We've got no problem with that blade moving out from its fixed position once again. So like I said, sometimes I want to take a good clean shave off the edge. So what I'll do is I'll just get my blade, rather than getting a chisel or a bit of sandpaper or anything to shave this down. If I've got just a little bit that needs to be shaved off, I'll run it along the edge like this. And that's why I use it on timber. So sometimes on your door jambs, if your strike plate is out of whack, you might need to adjust it. And what I do is I just simply cut back a little bit from the edge. So I'm very happy with the build of this so far. Everything's nice and sturdy, very, very tight once it's in the lock position. It doesn't move anywhere. Look how easy that flicks down. So let's try it out on some cardboard. Very nice indeed. Compare it with the Irwin. Very, very nice. So if we compare these two side by side, they're almost exactly the same size. If I put one on top of the other, you can see very, very little difference in terms of width. Just a little bit wider on the Irwin, but overall they're very, very similar. Very nice builds on both of them. I've got no problem in recommending either one. So this one here, flick out. Irwin. Nice. So when it comes to utility knives, these two here are my favorites so far. Got no problem recommending either one of them. I'm tempted to try the steel body one on the Milwaukee. So if you guys are interested, let me know and I'll pick one of those up as well and see just how much difference there is between this one and the steel-bodied one. I think the steel-bodied one carries some spare blades in there as well, so you can keep your spares in the back of the actual blade. So let me know in the comment section, guys, if you guys want to see that one there, and we'll compare those two. But for now, very happy with these two blades. They'll both be sitting in my pocket. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.